Hey guys, I'm the Bourbon King, and this is Super Saturdays. I'm new here on TV Evolution, but I hope you guys are going to support and watch. I'm going to do gaming stuff, so this week I'm doing a couple of news stories that I found, and next week something a little bit different. I hope you enjoy, and I think we're going to go along. So we're going to jump right in with a pretty funny story today. The trains in Fallout 3. Somebody on 4chan earlier in the week found out that the trains in Fallout 3 is essentially an NPC with a hat. Here's a picture. But then someone from PC Gamer found out something that's even funnier. It turns out it's not actually a hat, it's an arm. So there's an NPC running under the tracks with an arm on his head. I thought that was pretty funny. So did a lot of the internet. It looks pretty funny. Last month, Xbox One sales rose by 51% from last June and 79% during the week of E3. This is probably because of the backwards compatibility. And Xbox boss Phil Spencer has finally got it into his head that backwards compatibility is a good idea. Apparently, according to the CEO, the Xbox One is building potential now that they've announced backwards compatibility, which is great. Sony haven't said anything about backwards compatibility, which could mean that the Xbox may overtake the PlayStation 4. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see where this goes, actually, if the backwards compatibility affects the way that affects the sales of the systems. If the Xbox One's going to overtake the PS4 because of its backwards compatibility, or what's going to happen. That would be interesting. Keep an eye on that. Now, as I'm sure all of you are aware, the boss of Nintendo, Satoru Iwata, sadly passed away on the 11th of July, and Masahiro Sakurai, the creator of Smash Bros, has said a couple of things about him, which I think is really nice. According to Sakurai, Iwata was the best boss he ever had, which I think is really touching. There's a link in the description to the whole article. It has part of an interview from Famitsu, translated into English, if you want to go and read the whole thing. I'll just paraphrase it here, but if you want to read the whole thing, it'll be in the description. Sakurai says things like, he was a man of virtue, he had a brilliant mind, he was a man of effort, he was open and generous, he was empathetic, and apparently, last time they met in January, Mr. Iwata seemed perfectly fine, but as we know, the growth in his bile duct came back, and unfortunately he did pass away. So the internet has been mourning the loss of Mr. Iwata for a good couple of weeks. So my feelings go out to his family and Shigeru Miyamoto, who I know is helping to run the company in this difficult time. On a brighter note, I say brighter, apparently the Japanese voice actor for Metal Gear Solid has tweeted that Kojima Productions has shut down, which ultimately would mean after Metal Gear Solid 5 there isn't going to be a Metal Gear Solid 6. We don't know. A little bit of backstory for anyone who doesn't know what Metal Gear is. Metal Gear has been around for almost 30 years, since 1987. It's kind of a sneak around, shoot people. It's James Bond game on steroids, basically. As you can see, there's a little bit of a clip thing going on there. It's basically just sneaking around and hiding for people and then stopping the plans of the Russians, because it's set during the Cold War. So, yeah. This hasn't been verified by any of the people at Kojima Productions, but we know that relationships between Hideo Kojima, who created Metal Gear Solid, and Konami have kind of soured and gone a bit weird. So Metal Gear Solid 5, we're looking at the Phantom Pain. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5, the Phantom Pain. We think it's going to be the last Metal Gear Solid game, which is a shame for the fans of the Metal Gear series, and it'll be even more of a shame if Metal Gear Solid 5 ends in a cliffhanger, which I really hope it doesn't, because we'll never hear the end of it. Also, there was talk of a collaboration between Hideo Kojima and, I'm going to butcher this name, but Guillermo del Toro, who is a film director. So with what it sounds like is they were thinking about making a Metal Gear Solid film, and now that everything's kind of gone to pot with Konami, we don't know if they're still gonna make that. So, well, I hope they do. And apparently more than 150,000 people have signed a petition to make sure that goes ahead. So that would be great to see as a good round off to the Metal Gear series. I don't know what's happening next. We can only hope that there's going to be another Metal Gear game, or that we've all been wrong and everything's fine. And finally, good news for you retro gamers still out there. Someone has finally showed us how to correctly clean your cartridges. Now, we've all known for a while that blowing on them actually destroys the cartridge, but no one's found a definitive way to fix them, except these guys. There's a company called Joypad, who are based in the UK, who uploaded a video showing you how to properly clean your cartridges and make them work first time. But again, that'll be in the description. It's about 10 minutes, but it's in depth. I watched a bit of it. It's in depth. It'll tell you everything you need to know about cleaning your cartridges. And from what I can gather, it basically says everything that the internet has told you to do is wrong. So I would definitely recommend giving this a look if you've got some temperamental cartridges that you really want to play and need to work first time. And that's it for me for this week. I hope you've got your fix of all the gaming news. If not, link to all the articles I've talked about is in the description. You can go and check that out. You can also do some Googling. Leave me a comment about your opinions on anything I've talked about, or if there's something you want me to talk about, then I'd probably go around to it. Subscribe to Daily Evolution and subscribe to my channel as well, because I do stuff over there. Stuff like this. Not quite, but almost. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.